A dry, racking cough from the other side of the lab made Sona flinch. It was Ren, his hand pressed to his chest, the sound echoing unnervingly in the cramped, humid warren. She turned back to the primary culture vat, a repurposed coolant tank humming under a web of scavenged power conduits, and felt a fresh wave of dread. The vibrant, life-giving green of their custom algae was gone, replaced by a gray, viscous sludge clinging to the glass. On her diagnostic slate, she could see the skeletal remains of lysing cells. It wasn't just dying, it was being murdered. Her eyes flicked to a microscopic image from the intake filter, a micro-drone, no bigger than a dust mite, its delicate legs crumpled. It had delivered its payload and expired. This wasn't contamination, it was an assassination. "It's a phage," she said, her voice a tight knot of fury. "Synthetic, delivered by drone. Someone's trying to cut our air." For 3 days, Sona fought a microscopic war. She worked under the eerie, high-contrast glow of the nest's jury-rigged sterilizer lamps, the shadows dancing around the gleaming chrome of stolen lab equipment and the grime of the concrete walls. The UV sterilizer, usually a brutal hammer, only seemed to make the phage replicate faster. The air quality monitor on the wall shifted from green to a stark, warning amber. The lights overhead began to flicker as Ren diverted more of their precious stolen power to the struggling life support. She knew what she needed, a specific catalytic enzyme, a proprietary reagent used by Agrogen to stabilize their high-yield commercial crops. It was the one chemical guaranteed to shatter the phage's complex protein shell. It was also stored in the most secure labs in the verdant arcologies, a world away. "I can't get it," she said on the third night, her voice raw with exhaustion as she watched Ren gasp for breath after climbing a simple ladder. "It's impossible." "Then we trade for it," Ren said, his words punctuated by a shallow wheeze. He gestured to a smaller sealed container on Sona's workbench. It was her private project, a source of quiet pride. Inside was a unique extremophile bacteria she'd cultured, a voracious little beast that could break down polyplastic waste into inert, recyclable biomass, a miracle of waste disposal. It was an invention that could make a corporation millions, or get a biohacker a life sentence for patent infringement. "No," Sona said immediately. "That's our ticket out, our emergency fund." "The emergency is here," Ren countered, tapping the amber warning light that reflected in his sweat-sheened face. "What good is a ticket out if we're all dead?" He was right. With a heavy heart, Sona moved to the nest's Ghost Comms terminal. She sent a single encrypted pulse into the data stream of the gray zones, a coded offer tagged with the signature of her extremophile. "Acid for alkali. Urgent." An hour later, a reply came, a low-level Agrogen logistics tech. His price? A full, stable culture of her bacteria. The exchange point was a derelict water treatment junction that smelled of rust and ozone. A single bare wire sparked rhythmically overhead, casting fleeting strobe-like shadows on walls slicked with moisture. Sona saw the logistics tech waiting, a nervous silhouette in a standard gray zone jumpsuit. As he stepped forward, the cryovial in his hand cast a soft blue glow on his face, revealing wide, terrified eyes. He placed the vial on a rusted platform, his hand shaking slightly. "This is my career," he whispered, the sound swallowed by a sudden cyst of steam from a nearby pipe. Sona said nothing. She placed her own sample case, a warm, living thing, next to the cold, dead blue of the vial. It was her life's work next to his career suicide. They took their packages and vanished back into the dripping darkness. Two ghosts trading one impossible future for another. Back in the nest, her hands moved with desperate precision. She introduced the enzyme to a small batch of the infected algae. The cloudy water fizzed, a cascade of tiny silver bubbles before the deep, life-giving green began to bleed back into the culture, chasing the gray away. A wave of profound relief washed over her, so intense it left her dizzy. She spent the next hour carefully culturing the restored algae and introducing it back into the main tank. Slowly, the sickly pallor receded, the flicker in the overhead light stabilized, and the air began to lose its sharp metallic edge. Ren placed a hand on her shoulder, his breathing already deeper. "You did it." Sona nodded, too tired to smile. She looked at her empty workbench where her secret project used to be. She had saved them. but she had spent their future to pay for their present. Their fragile hidden life would continue, but the dream of a ticket out, of a life beyond the hum of scavenged machinery and the constant threat of discovery, was gone. It was the price of survival in the shadows of paradise.